lunch. You need some. Didn't appreciate the freedom.
And welcome to the Valenti Sound Off. I am Ishma. This is Shali. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's start with free agency.
Man, just went down Westbrook, going right to the Rockets, playing with Harden again. It's gonna be fun to watch.
I can't see Westbrook and Harden coexisting.
It's
like
just
that.
probably just not gonna work, just like it did last time. They're not gonna compete against the Lakers nor the Clippers. We already know that. That's what's.
What do you think about the whole AD shift? Coming down, gonna be messing with LeBron, gonna be messing with Boogie.
A couple months ago, I didn't think he was coming to the Lakers. It seemed like that ship sailed and gone. But apparently, the Lakers, Genie Bus did something right finally after the Magic fiasco.
Did you think that Kawhi was gonna go?
Golden Boy. Kawhi, Kawhi. I have no clue where he was going. I know we talked about it a couple times, and we were like.
I thought he was
you
going
were
to
asking
stay.
me where he was going to stay. Well, why not stay? You the biggest star besides old Drizzy Drake.
But he likes being
Started
in
from
LA.
the bottom, now we're here.
He's from Cali. He likes being in LA.
He's Cali. What? That's his hometown, Cali, right? What?
Yeah.
He went to San Diego State.
Mm-hmm.
So coming back, family, lots of people to play in front of, obviously. But I'm excited just to see what Paul George coming off a ridiculous season. Those are MVP numbers. Like I just looked at a couple of his stats the other night, and this man is just killing
So does
it.
the East have anything for the West?
No.
Not at all. No chance. So
I don't
who's
know,
going to win the
what do you
West?
think?
Who's
We
going to
got
win the West?
Kemba went over to the Celtics. That's not the West is going to be fun to see. Man, I just had this discussion too with somebody a couple days ago. For sure, Lakers got to be number one. LeBron and AD together. That's it.
They're going to be Kawhi and Paul George.
Paul George and
Who's
Kawhi
playing down low right
are
now?
automatically in it to win it. They can definitely come and beat anybody any given night. A 7-game series, that's a different story. But of course, that's going to be a long time before we get to see
So
anybody
that's 60
do that.
points. You get Kawhi and you get Paul George. You can have 60 points a night.
And then you can't forget about Lou Williams. He's pretty good.
So tell me
And then Beverly's
this.
coming back for the defense.
So
Their
tell me
lineup's going
this.
to be fun.
Do you like people getting together? Do you like three big stars getting together
This
one
is
team?
always the biggest discussion. I hear this so much from everybody. Like, what back in the 80s and you know what I mean, in the 90s when there were super teams back then, right?
Like
we
give me an
don't
example.
think of them
Give me
like
an example of your
the
super
Lakers. The Lakers for sure, right? Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, all on the same team. Like big three, right? Larry Bird.
That's a big three, and they're winning championships. But not like
Okay,
that. Like,
and
it wasn't like that.
And then
All
just
stars
any
were
era
all
you can go
stars.
to. You know what I mean? There's always been like a dominant duo on a team. You know, Michael Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, those are three really
Those are three stars.
And just
Those are
like,
three stars.
and then different stars who are elevated on different platforms, right? Because
Those are
obviously
three stars.
LeBron James, you would say number one on the Lakers, right? AD second. You know, Kawhi number one on the Clippers.
But could it be like this? Okay, do you think that Pippen, so Jordan, he can run his own team, but can Pippen run his own team? Can Robin run their own teams to that level of success? Where LeBron can run his own team.
Correct.
AD can run his own team.
Kawhi now proved
Boogie
he can run his own team.
But you know
Boogie
what I'm saying?
can't run his own team.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins can be the
Boogie
only
can't
guy.
even stay healthy. This man go off
But if
doing jumping jacks.
if he's tripping. If Boogie stays healthy, he's the number one
This
player
man
on
went
any
down with
squad.
a calf injury.
Yeah, everybody. Have you ever had a
Non-contact
calf injury? Shirley? A calf
KD
injury's
is
hurt.
totally different than what
Calf
Boogie went
injury's
down
hurt.
and did. Boogie was like,
that's how you jump. That's how you know.
Boogie
I know
just
you never
notorious
dunked.
for
I know you
injuries,
never
though.
put it down. But when you need to dunk that calf, that's how you get there. That's how you get there. You put it down. Yeah.
You
so
walking with the weak ankle.
you gonna bring up my ankles? I got over this.
But
I'm taking my calcium.
off the top, I'm thinking Lakers are running. They're going to be number one.
Okay,
they're going to be the team to beat. But I love the Splash Brothers. Splash Brothers are going to come back, and they're always going to compete. You can't somebody who can rain down threes at any moment.
Okay. So let's shift a little bit. I guess we ain't talking nothing about Golden State, but let's
Nothing.
shift.
You
Forget
don't
Golden
give
State.
the boys
Forget Golden
nothing.
State. So let's shift a little bit. What about the women's soccer? Did you watch some
Women's
of
World Cup. Yeah, watched a little bit of it. My niece plays soccer, so I try to keep up on a little bit of soccer.
that?
I'm trying to get to the World Cup with her.
So here's the thing. Everybody's screaming about this equal pay, equal pay, equal pay, equal pay. What are your thoughts? Do you have some thoughts on the equal pay? The men are getting paid more than the women.
the women have clearly performed on a higher standard than the men did. They've brought in more viewers. They're bringing in more money for, all of these different places.
So when you say bringing in more money, what do you mean bringing in more money?
TV viewers, right? They like what, doubled or something like that. What it wasn't.
Go out and sell tickets. If you're an artist, and
you don't want to pay the women. That's
no. I'm saying you're an artist.
Leave the money at it.
I'm saying you're an artist, right? If you're an artist, okay, let's switch around. You're Beyonce, right? And I'm Talib Kweli, right? Now we go out and we do shows. Okay, I beat all the conscious rappers in my Talib Kweli round, right? But I generate all my concerts, all my TV stuff. I generate $5 million, right? I generate $5 million. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now you go out and you generate $50 million with all your things like this, but you get third. But your whole competition, everything you did,
who's Beyonce? I'm supposed to be Beyonce, right?
Yeah, you're Beyonce.
$50 million, okay.
You generate $50 million. I generate $5 million. Here's what I'm saying.
$5 million, okay.
So out of my contract, of all these other rappers, let's say we're all doing a tour, all my things, I get 10% of that share, right? Mm-hmm. Or I get 13%. So you get, let's say your contract, you get 8%. Mm-hmm. But you still have more money because you're coming out of a $50 million share. I only generated $5 million. So ticket sales, only $5 million worth of money came to see me play.
Okay. Right.
So,
okay.
So then should I get more of your money?
So now listen to this, right?
So let me get
perfect. I'm great you even said that, right? Because who's Beyonce in this situation? The women or the men? Clearly, the women should be. Like, that's the thing, though. The women should be like.
No, Beyonce is the person bringing in more money.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but the women are the actual ones that I understand what you're saying. I understand how you're saying that the Beyonce is like the men. They bring in the more money, but the more literally what I just watched, it said that the women brought in more TV views than the men did.
America for this game.
No, what it made it sound like it was in the world.
Yeah,
so is it just in America? Is what you're saying?
In America, people are watching the women's.
You so sure it is? How do you know your situation?
Because I saw the same stat. It's like two different companies. It's like the men are one company, the women are one company.
It's kind of like they're meant to be suppressed
we're both
like
companies.
that. You always
no,
meant
it's
to
not.
be. Yeah,
I'm saying who's gonna watch it?
Listen to you like.
If you watch it,
it seems like a lot of people watched it here in America.
In America, they watch it, so yes, they get paid in America.
It seems like across the world as well, because across the world, like you said, it's such a big deal.
Now, here's what I say:
people are supporting their women as well.
Now, here's what I would say isn't fair, because like I said, comparatively, they get more of the pool than what the men do, but the men's pool is just bigger. That's just business. But what I would say is this: is that.
It's just like WNBA too, right? You can compare that just like to the.
It's the exact same thing because WNBA. Have you ever seen the crowds?
But that's the thing though, like
the NBA has full
but the
arenas.
soccer is way more bigger than like any WNBA in the United States for sure. If we're just talking about the United States, then
I'm talking about ticket sales. It's the same thing like how Monique said that she wants to get paid the same thing as Amy Schumer, right? No, she doesn't.
But she's not going to because the system is made for her.
She's not going. No. Here's what it is. Netflix goes off of ticket sales.
She's a funny black woman. Exactly.
If she did ticket sales, then she would get paid. But Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle, they get $50 million.
A select few.
Because
you
they
know
have
how much that Jeff.
Chris Rock is going to be able to demand more than Jerry Seinfeld because he sells more tickets. That's just how it is. Netflix, people don't want Jerry Seinfeld like
so J. Cole, so even though J. Cole's dope, like he says, you know what I mean? He just ain't gonna sell tickets like Eminem and Adele, right? J. Cole?
Not in certain markets. Right. No, J. Cole will not go to Detroit and sell like Eminem.
Which is just crazy, you know what I mean?
But it's tickets, but is Eminem supposed to give J. Cole
so serious
his money?
You be like,
J. Cole's supposed to
like, Monique doesn't deserve what Amy Schumer deserves. That's what you sounded like. Why doesn't she deserve that?
Because Amy Schumer sells out $20,000.
Amy Schumer's getting better opportunities than 20,000. That's the problem, though. But maybe who knows? She ain't pick. Even if she does, what she gets to do.
Look. Personally, I think Amy Schumer is trash. She's not funny to me.
Apparently, because you fight for it real good. You're like, she deserves way more than Monique does. No, she doesn't. She just has it better. She has it easier to get there than Monique does.
I'm saying entertainment-wise, if I'm
and as a black woman myself, having to go against a lot of different adversities, going against all these other women that I have to work with every day. I've been thinking in my head like, you know what I mean? That's what you said. Like,
so Netflix should hand you $50 million.
Even no, but if you're just as good, if you were
it's not about just good. It's about what brings the ratings. That's the whole thing, though.
But that's if you put Monique in a movie that Amy Schumer was in.
What do you mean, Monique?
She probably
what do you mean? Amy Schumer doesn't even have an Academy Award. Yeah. She isn't even nominated for one. Monique is the better actor.
So
we
exactly.
Know the better actor.
So that's the case
she doesn't fill stadiums. She's not going to.
She doesn't fill stadiums. Why though?
because
she did. Queens of Comedy was one of the funniest things known to life.
But right now, is she feeling stable?
Yeah, I mean,
this is what Cat Williams said.
Poor Cat
I'm really
Williams.
hard for Cat Williams because he says
He
point
got
blank.
beat up by like a 9-year-old in the kitchen.
And so he got his ass whooped. That happens.
Look like
but
he
here's
was
the
on
thing.
some stuff.
Here's what I'm trying to say. If you are a comedian and you're going around and you're selling 20,000 show arenas out, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to command 20 million from Netflix because you're showing that you sell tickets. They go off of a straight scale of who's selling tickets.
I understand
That's just
everything
the
you
whole
said.
thing. If I'm the best movie
I don't
maker,
disagree with any of that.
I think I'm a
Nobody
great
said
movie
that.
maker, right? But you know what? I don't sell out no arenas. Don't nobody come to see me.
Have you had the opportunity to see opportunity somebody else had?
Yes, I had the same opportunity as
Tyler
Spike Lee.
Perry, yeah, or
Yes.
Spike Lee. And,
I have the same
John-
opportunity as them. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I have the
John
same
Cena
opportunity as
too,
them.
yeah.
Heck yeah, I have the same opportunity as them. And I put the same things
You
out.
suck.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe
No,
that's
it's
what it
just
is.
that
But
that's
at
the
the end
thing
of the
though.
day, I don't
Some
command
people
the
just
viewers.
get
I
easier
haven't
stepping
commanded the
stones. That's what
viewers.
I'm saying. Amy Schumer just had an
I don't
easier
know her
stepping
life.
stones. Like
I
that's
don't
the
know
thing.
her life. She
Or
never had it.
Tiffany
That's
Haddish.
all
We
I
can
know her
compare
life.
Tiffany Haddish to Amy Schumer right now.
Okay,
'Cause
so
Tiffany
tell me-
Haddish
so
is one
tell
of
me
the
right now, so tell me
funniest
right now.
comedians out right now. One of the biggest comedians out right now.
Google right
Yeah,
now. Here's what I'm saying. I would say all your arguments right. If you Google right now and show me that Monique is selling more tickets than Amy Schumer, or that
I didn't
Tiffany
tell you
Haddish
that.
is.
I
But
just said
that's
that
what
she's
they-
just not.
that's
She
what they
won't get
go
the
off of.
opportunity like
That's
Amy
what-
Schumer. That's
that's
what I'm
what they
trying to
go
tell you.
off of.
I never told
That's
you
what
that.
they go
You're
off
just sitting here saying
No,
that.
but
I never
Netflix-
disagree with you on saying that. I'm
Netflix
just telling you,
knows.
Monique doesn't get the same opportunity that Amy Schumer is going to get for Netflix. I'm not
She
getting
has
paid like
to
that. And she
special.
feels like she deserves that. What's wrong with her
Okay.
to feel like she don't deserve
She
that
can
type of
definitely
money?
feel like she
You know what I
deserves
mean?
that type of
Like,
money.
who are you to say you don't? Who is
Uh-huh.
Steve Harvey to say you don't deserve this money? Amy Schumer does
Because
deserve
you
this money.
don't-
Like, you know what I mean? I know my worth. I
Can
feel
you
like
tell me the
I
numbers?
feel like I
Okay,
know
okay,
it.
now you
And
can-
that's what you're gonna base it on.
I
You're gonna
feel
be
it's
like,
like
you don't
this.
show
No,
sell
I
out
feel it's
these
like this.
amount of shows.
Charlotte, so I feel it's like this.
Either way,
I feel it's like
if
this.
you don't set yourself to the highest standard, nobody's going to. Period.
If you're
Stop.
going, you can think that you're 11 if you're 34. You can think that, but I don't have to pretend with you. I know your numbers. I know what the numbers are.
Listen,
The
I
numbers
know
point
your
blank
numbers.
is somebody else is selling more than you. So I can pretend, I can think I'm the best rapper in the world, and I can know that in my heart I'm the best rapper in the world. But you know what? I'm never going to be able to go right now to Madison Square Garden and say, hey, let me do a show. No, because nobody's going to buy a ticket.
What about the different time periods, right? It's also different time periods. Like, that's what I'm saying to you, dude. Like, you know, you want to... It's just a different time period. Like, back in the day, like, Monique was one of the hottest women comedians. You didn't even know who Amy Schumer was, right?
Exactly.
Because who was Amy Schumer then?
And she can
She was
demand all she
maybe
wants
like-
at that time.
Hold on. No, I mean, listen to you. Like, you still would be like, either way, nobody's saying that Amy Schumer isn't doing these type of numbers, and maybe that she doesn't deserve this money she's making.
And I
I'm
think
not
she's
saying
funny.
nobody said anything. Well,
And I don't
I
think
think
she's
you
funny.
think she's funny.
I don't.
Because you
I
bring
think she's
hard
trash.
for it right now.
I
You know what I
never
mean?
laughed
I'm
at
just
one of her
saying that
jokes.
there is a lot of different. There's just a lot of different things that are happening right now in the last 10 years. Matter of fact, 5 years really, if you want to just think how many that are just blowing up, like those Netflix series and stuff like that, that are really actually hitting the standards for the type of money, like in the contracts that people are getting. Like, you know what I mean? That stuff wasn't heard of 10 years ago. I don't care what anybody's talking about. Nobody was getting 10 mil. What is it? Who made
I
that?
got a question. I got a question
$6.5
for you.
million is what they made off of that Netflix. Like, Netflix wasn't that big 10 years ago.
I
It
tell you
wasn't.
like this. I tell you like
You know what I
this.
mean? Now this is one of the
Sure.
biggest things.
So yeah,
You know what I mean? So
here's my question.
They're
to you.
just
Here's
really
my question to
smart
you. right now.
business-wise,
Right now, look. Just be honest, because I'll be honest too.
Be honest.
Chris Rock. Right now, if you can watch new Chris Rock Netflix special or Mike Epps special, what would you do? Like, what would you watch first?
Mike Epps probably.
Me too. I'd watch the Mike Epps episode right
And
away.
it's- and he
So
got
much
it.
fun.
He's-
And it's
it's
gonna be
on there.
funnier. Look, peep this. It's gonna be funnier because I think Mike Epps
We
is
may
funnier.
think that,
No,
right.
no. Peep this though. Who do you think got more money, Chris Rock or Mike Epps?
Well, probably Chris Rock.
No. Ain't no probably.
Yeah, well,
He got
probably Chris Rock.
60
Like,
million.
I wouldn't doubt that
60
Chris Rock did make more
million.
money
He
than
got
Mike Epps.
60
Like,
million. Why did Chris Rock get
Yeah.
60 million compared to Mike Epps?
he's been in the game longer. That's what I would say.
Look, hold on.
Because a lot, he
keep it real,
plays
keep it
to
real,
a
keep it
different
real.
audience.
Keep it real.
He can play more to a white audience.
Okay, now what
You
I'm
the
saying.
one over here receiving like you root
No,
for these
I'm
white
not.
audience.
I'm
Yeah,
just
you are.
keeping it real.
How we get on this? Can we get back to free
I'm just
agency? You
keeping
always
it
want to get
real.
political. You sound
I'm
like
just
Rod. I
keeping
don't want
it
to talk
real.
nothing about this.
I'm
The
just
woman should
keeping
be
it
getting
real.
paid decent.
My
You know what I
ass.
mean? The men shouldn't be getting paid these all this money if they ain't even making it to the semifinals. You know
Now
what I mean?
peep this. Okay, so now let's leave the World Cup monies alone. Okay.
I want to talk about Coco Gauff.
Okay,
I want to talk about some good
real
stuff.
quick.
You going over here
Let's
still talking about.
keep the World Cup monies alone. Okay, no World Cup monies involved. Now let's just say what America pays their athletes. So
Yeah.
America can pay the women. America pay the men $90,000 per year. They pay the women something like 17 or 18,000. Or maybe it's even 13,000.
I don't know what it is.
Now,
I know it's
that's
significantly different.
Now that's stupid. That's where it's stupid because the women are they're getting better rankings in America. They're putting America on the map more.
Above getting everything sold.
No, so
merchandise,
they
merchandise being sold,
deserve to be, if not equal, getting more from the American team when America pays their players per team or per player.
You go from here to here. Man.
No, that's what it's about. America should be paying their teammates
So America's
more.
the problem.
But when it comes to the World Cup revenue, we can't make revenue. You know, those are two different companies.
I wasn't even talking about the World Cup revenue. You were just all about that World Cup.
Well,
I was just saying either.
But the women should get paid more from the American team. The American team specifically.
Next on the line is Coco Gauff. We're gonna talk about Coco because I wish
Hey, Coco.
I wish I could. I wish I would have played tennis. It makes me want to play tennis.
I don't know nothing about tennis.
Man, I know you. Well, Serena, watching Serena get down is just. But
So
Coco.
what do you think it's like to beat
It
your
is
legend?
going to be. Well, she told us, she gave us a little glimpse of what she thought at that moment of talking about how, she paved the way for her and how she felt so, just proud and happy to be able to be in that moment and be able to cherish those kind of things. And I think it was it was really fun to watch. I was actually got the opportunity to watch it, and just the emotions between her emotions and between how she carried herself, especially for being in front of a crowd of that nature. She explained that she's never played in any type of situation of that, and it's just really cool to see her flourish, especially for all these young black girls coming up. They're going to be able to see that really the sky's the limit. And I think that's what Venus has also told her, is that she's proud of her and that to keep going, because in 5 years that girl's going to be
started
dominant.
playing tennis?
6 years old.
I heard 4.
6 years old is when she caught on to, and her dad. It's called, which is another cool thing. Dad's coaching.
She was
another similarity, right?
Yeah.
Both parents were great athletes. So you would expect, Coco hopefully to have a little bit of the athleticism of the family. Her brother, #1 fan. I just think it's really cool that at this age that she's so composed, and is able to take on a big event and be able to turn out and turn up, because she caught the eyes of everybody. I'm excited to see what happens in the next couple of years with her, because it'll be really good. I'll be tuning in to the U.S. Open for sure to watch her. She's going to be there. And it's crazy. She prepared 2 weeks. She got the call 2 weeks before. You hear that? 2 weeks before, and then she comes ready to go, coming in there. That backstroke pretty good with the backhand. Oh man.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch much of it.
And it looks like she had a little bit of a injury going on at the very end of it, so she was able to kind of feel like what that works with.
Did she lose the next
right
round?
Before she made it to the round of 16. Very valiant effort. She should be proud of that. That's for sure, because she did great. Everybody was watching it. Everybody was excited for her.
That's super nice. That's super nice. So, did you see Kirk Herbstreit? He tweeted something about trying to get the. He tweeted that
like
we
Herb.
should, like Herb. So Kirk Herbstreit tweeted, "We need to make that the EA Sports happen again for college football." That's what he said. He wants to happen again.
College football.
So the only way to make that happen
EA
again
Sports.
is to stop playing and pay the players.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that.
That's the only way to make it happen.
What is everybody's argument for not paying the players, right? #1 argument I always hear.
What do you hear?
From people usually is that they get a free education. They get a free education.
Mm-hmm.
So now a lot of other professional athletes that went through college and kind of came on some of the same backgrounds of a lot of these young males that are coming up. Underprivileged, whether it be, not having both parents in the household, being one of the main sources of incomes for their families, and going away to college and still having to provide and things of that nature. Jalen Rose is a perfect example, because I remember the Fat Five story and him talking about how a lot of times he didn't have money to go and eat. You know what I mean? So, right. So, and then people go, oh, well, it's totally different. These, they get meals, they get, the best of everything. They have everything at their disposal, and and they want to get paid on top of it. These colleges are making millions and millions of dollars.
No, they're making billions of dollars, yeah.
Billions.
But
millions. Jersey sales alone. I just don't understand what is the argument for not giving them their jersey sales? Who is making them go and buy? There's just no other way around that.
Yeah.
How are you going to say, yup, you don't get the money for that jersey that we just sold that has your number on it? That little kid wants to wear it because he wants to be just like you. You know what I mean? So.
At some point, they're gonna have to pay the players.
And they got plenty of it to do so with. And I could only see nothing but good coming from it. What is the what? Because it already happens anyway, right? Just under the table. Instead of putting people in jail and making people tiptoe around, why not just make it easy on everybody? You know, across the board. Here we go. This is what we're gonna do. Now there's the argument of what do you pay the star? What do you pay the person that's on the bench? Obviously, in that one, then it could come back to your argument of well, if you're not the one making, like, because like I said, the jersey sell for sure. So if you're not making the pay, or if you're not making plays out there doing 100+ yard games, scoring the touchdowns, making people want to come to the games and wear your jersey, you're probably not going to get any jersey sales, right? Are you going to get a percentage of their jersey money or jersey sales?
Well, I got the perfect. I think I got the perfect solution. If people don't want college players to get paid, that's just fine. If you don't want them to get paid, then you have to make the ticket sales be all the tickets should be face value. Tickets should be $5 a ticket.
Sure.
For each one.
Sure.
I mean, seriously.
Sure.
Make them $5 a ticket, and then it just pays for
Never
maintenance and
even
travels.
thought of it that way.
So if you really want to be amateur, then just pay for maintenance and travel,
Exactly.
the stadium
Sure.
and everything,
Sure.
and it's no
Sure.
extra revenue.
Right, room and board, food, all that.
Well,
yeah,
we're in the land of the Huskers, and most people are going to say, well, you know what, the
black
Huskers.
shorts.
So here's what they say. They say the Huskers football pays for not every, but a lot of other programs athletically that we have here. So without the Husker football, then we'd have to give up a lot of other athletic programs. So then I say that that's socialism at its finest then, for most of the people that want to live in our capitalist society.
No.
Because if you want to give the football money that they're making somewhere else, then that's what you're saying. That's what you're choosing to do.
Volleyball doesn't
So like I said,
make anywhere near football.
you need to, that's fine. If you want the players to pay for free, then make the tickets $5 instead of $80.
That'll put a damper on things, wouldn't it?
Well, there it is. If coaches can be paid and administrators and everybody else can be paid, then the talent can be as well. Now, what I think is really great what they do in Europe is there is no amateur sports clubs. So even when you're in high school, you don't have a high school team. Like we don't have Lincoln High Lynx and the Lincoln Northeast Rockets. There's club teams. So you go to school to go to school. Then you want to play sports, you play on a club team. If it's just a rec team for fun, then it's just for fun. But if you're nice, say if you're the dopest high school baller at Lincoln High, you play for this club team. And then the club team is on a contract with them. So now when, you've seen Lincoln High Southeast games be sold out to the brim, and they got, $5 and $7 tickets or whatever going, and they're filling up these stadiums of 1,500 or whatever it is. And the kids, of course, aren't getting any of that.
No.
Well, in the other countries, they do. So they get a piece of that. So we can stop all the amateurism if we want to, unless we're going to put
that's what's great though, right? Because that's what you don't hear that. Who knows that? Who knows that doesn't happen over there, right? Overseas.
Well, my other thing, so they always say it's for free. So you can say it's for free if you want, but if you look at the time of practice, the time of games, and the training time, and the training table time, and then on top of it, if you're going to be a student athlete, then you have to not only go to school, 15 credit hours per semester, but for every credit hour that you take in school, you're supposed to have 3 hours of study and work time. So that's 15 times 3. So then you're looking at 45 hours per week. That's for a student. And then you have to do your your practice and then the training. So really when it comes to then if you're getting 30,000, let's say you're getting 30,000 for scholarship, that's not even minimum wage. When it comes to 45 a week, then plus everything else and all your travel and everything else. I mean, some days you're working for the school 24 hours a day because you're traveling, you're on call somewhere else.
And
so that really means, it's not a free ride. It's a very, very extensive
that's always
ride.
the number one argument.
So then in the summer, I'm not that far removed from college, but even when I know college players that played at the good old University of Nebraska, in the summer, those meals aren't there like that every time. The meal place closes at noon. Afternoon, what do you do for your meals at night? 7 or 8. You're a big guy. You're 240.
Right.
You're 6'5". You need some food still. What about transportation? You need to get from place to place. It isn't like somebody's paying for that transportation. Isn't like so there's things. So then they say, well, work. Well, yeah, if you're a student athlete, you only have a certain amount per week that you even are allowed to work. So there's a lot of restrictions on the young gentleman. But again, I have no problem. You want to have all those restrictions, that's just fine. The work with the NFL, so it isn't a 3-year monopoly.
Of course.
Right? We have to wait 3 years before out of high school to go to the NFL.
Should be like a one and done?
Shouldn't be anything. It's a free country. Why are we putting limitations on talents? So let's say that you're Hannah Montana, right? Does Hannah Montana have to go to Vanderbilt School of Chorus before she can go and be
blow up on Disney Channel, right?
Or before she can be Miley Cyrus and have the number one hit song?
I had this conversation with
or does she have to let Vanderbilt get paid for 4 years
on
first?
lines with this, and it was kind of like why do we owe it? What it's America, right? Everything's why do we have to, you know what I mean? You always have to answer to someone, right? So there has to be some type of order. That's what you always hear. There has to be some type of order, right? So that's what it comes down to. They're like, well, you have to answer to somebody. It can just all be a free for all.
Well,
everybody just do what they want.
It's kind of funny because nobody has to. When it comes to golf, there's no rules. You can go straight out.
Yeah.
When it comes to NASCAR, you go straight out. 16, you start driving NASCAR.
Another about the rule. What about baseball? Baseball, you still
baseball
have to
straight out,
right? Yeah.
You get drafted in junior high in baseball.
Baseball's still
But football and basketball, there's a lot of limitations. But football and basketball.
Why is there limitations?
I think football and basketball are about 80 to 70% black.
Now, a lot of people are going to argue then about MLB, right? How many of those players come from?
MLB is still white. It's still predominantly white. So we had this discussion the other day. You said boxing or MMA? Which one is more brutal, boxing or MMA? I said
the very beginning. I believe boxing was right.
No, you believe UFC was more brutal.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying UFC is more brutal.
Yeah,
I was saying boxing.
Oh man, because it just gets so gory, so quick, so gross, man. And yeah.
But when you watch a boxing match over the entirety, a person will get hit in the head over 100 times.
I did have a little light bulb go off when I was watching. I told you I watched over the past weekend. I watched the undercards for the John Jones fight. And after seeing that knockout, the 5-second, the fastest knockout in UFC history now, it has to. Yeah, that makes sense because
one and done. You get your shot off.
Without a doubt, if that's not if boxing, and also I was watching some old boxing footage with my fiance, and it was just
those guys get knocked.
They
get knocked the whole night. 15 rounds.
I was watching the dude giving up against Tyson. I just watched that earlier today, and he didn't want to come out of the second round. He said, "I want to quit," and his people in the corner are trying to make the man go. That's the difference between sports nowadays. You get in real big trouble. You did stuff like that nowadays. You know what I mean? This man was like, "No, you're gonna make a disgrace of yourself if you do this. You don't. You are gonna win this fight again." This man did not want to fight Tyson anymore. I can't remember who has been. Sure enough, he wanted to quit, and so. Yeah, I could see.
Would you take a punch from Tyson back in his prime for $1 million?
Listen to you. I'm a female. And I ain't never stopped him before.
I think it'll come after you.
Robin Gibbons.
Come after you.
I think that it is brutal.
But that's what everybody asks. Everybody saw his ass. Would you take a punch from Tyson in his prime for $1 million?
No.
I wouldn't either.
No, obviously, if that's the way this man literally was no, he went over to the ref himself because his corner would not call the fight. he got up and got out of the corner. It's like, I quit. He was like, I don't even care. And then they asked him after would you think about fighting again, like boxing just ever? Like, it looking like I'm gonna have to go back and think about this. Like Tyson made him think about, what
his whole career move,
everything.
Okay. So Huskers, let's shift to Huskers.
Yeah.
So shift to Huskers. Red, right? Do you think?
Go Big Red.
Give me how many are they gonna win this year?
9-3 is what I project.
9-3.
8-4
is a must. What does 9-3 do? They get you
9-3 is a great season.
Gross.
What do you mean?
Who do they play this year?
So what do you from a season ago when they went 4-8? What do you expect?
I expect
that, and last season was just
I expect a whole bunch. I expect wins.
I do too. I expect 9-3. I expect 9-3. 8-4 is a must.
9-3.
Anything else is a failure.
Well, you heard it here first. She's saying 9-3 from the Valenti sound off. Charlotte's saying 9-3 for the Huskers. I don't believe it.
Go Big Red. Well, that's good because
So we had some scuffles, we had some fun, and we had some numbers to crunch. We'll come back on the numbers to crunch next time. I wonder what's going to happen to free agency before the next time we get back.
It'll be a good sight to see. We'll see.
Good sight to see. Well, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Till next time, sounding off.
to the free lunch. I need some, didn't appreciate